My girlfriend wants to leave her husband for me and I don't want her to. A year and a half ago I, 31 female, matched with a woman, 28, on Hinge. She was in an open relationship looking for a girlfriend on the side. I'm not the kind of person that wants something super serious, so I was open to the idea. We hit it off and have been casually dating since. Well, recently she's confessed to falling in love with me. I care about her a lot, but I don't love her. She's talking about getting a lawyer and divorcing her husband because she doesn't feel like she needs him anymore. I don't want to end their relationship. Her husband is a great guy who would be absolutely heartbroken, and they have kids, so I don't want to tear that family apart. I never would have pursued her had I known anything like this would happen. We both joked early on in our relationship that we were emotionally unavailable. I'm at a loss of what to do at this point. I've been dodging her calls since she mentioned the word divorce yesterday. You need to end it. She will be hurt, but don't put yourself in a relationship you don't want. Also, don't feel bad for tearing the family apart. That's on her. Shusha's the one who got involved with you in the first place and put herself out there. For all the ones saying, this is not on you, I have a saying. Personal responsibility. You, have the ability to remove yourself from someone else's marriage. Do it. How would you be able to look those kids in the eye? You know you need to already. It's possible she just wants to leave her husband, and is using you as an excuse. Or she is one of those people who can't be single, and you are the next relationship lined up. Either way, I think you have to remove yourself from the whole situation. Can you tell her how you feel? You need to leave the relationship. Regardless of the circumstances of how it started and how open things were and how much the husband knew and accepted it, you are now the other woman and she is cheating on her husband with you. Don't be that person. If she wants to leave her husband anyways, that's her business. Don't be part of it, though. Shut it down immediately. Tell her you're not interested in what she is proposing. If she can't accept your choice, then ghost her. If she loves you but you don't love her, you should leave the relationship. It's not fair on either of you. Her relationship with her husband is their responsibility, not yours, so don't feel guilty about that. You have to end things with her. You need to tell her that if she wants to divorce her husband, that's up to her, but you want no part in that as it's not your place and never the place you wanted. You wanted a dating relationship, not something serious, and her feelings have complicated it and perhaps complicated her own marriage too. You don't have to end things on a bad note. But it sounds like she was perhaps already doubting her marriage before you even came along. You can't be her life raft. I'm so sorry so many people are shitting on you for participating in an open relationship. You are not aiding infidelity or destroying a marriage. All of those people are small-minded and insecure. As for the actual issue at hand, I do agree that it would be best to just end y'all's relationship. If she wants to get a divorce regardless of you, she should get a divorce. But she shouldn't use you as her reason, especially if the agreement was casual dating. It seems like she hasn't even asked if you wanted to get more serious, she just assumed you would, which is really presumptuous and rude. Best of luck. Break up and let her get a divorce without using you as the justification. Kinda weird how she just up and left for the first fling she had, huh? Maybe it's not really about how much she loves you but about how little she loves, and loved before she met you, him. Are you certain she's actually in an open relationship? This doesn't sound like one at all, because she could have just kept seeing you while being with him and she would have had both of you. Maybe you met her husband, but did you get introduced as her casual date? Maybe she told him you're her friend. Not an expert on open relationships here. Just giving my thoughts. I don't think it's up to you to save their relationship. In the first place, you've established boundaries early on, so you yourself were only prepared to be in that level of involvement with her. Might be worth it just to properly end things, though, because if you stay, she'll likely expect more no matter what. All three of you ruined the relationship. Open relationships are a joke. You need to tell her husband. He has the right to make an informed choice on if he wants to stay with his wife or not. Directly inform her verbatim that you are not falling in love with her. Let her make her own decisions with that piece of knowledge, and you don't have to worry about whether you were a contributing factor atop falsehood. End it. End it. She doesn't feel like she needs him anymore. She sounds pretty narcissistic to be viewing people in terms of their usefulness to her, especially if she's been with him for years and had kids with him. Even so, it is never a good idea to put yourself into the marriage of other people, and that's what you did, regardless of if they were both good with it. Such entanglements have a very high chance of going very wrong, as it has here. Answer her calls. Remove yourself and let these two people sort out where they want to go in life before they completely wreck the lives of their kids with whatever is going on between the two of them. What she's feeling might be just new relationship energy. New relationship energy, or NRE, refers to a state of mind experienced at the beginning of sexual and romantic relationships, typically involving heightened emotional and sexual feelings and excitement. NRE begins with the earliest attractions, may grow into full force when mutuality is established, and can fade over months or years. The term indicates contrast to those feelings aroused in an old or ongoing relationship. Talk to her about this, and end things. Don't complicate your life. When the NRE fades away, she'll likely grow to resent you. Probably look into available women next time, like single women, makes life easier. She's talking about getting a lawyer and divorcing her husband because she doesn't feel like she needs him anymore. I don't want to end their relationship. Her husband is a great guy who would be absolutely heartbroken. Sounds like he is the kinda guy that deserves to know his wife doesn't need him anymore. Doesn't think she needs him anymore. That's not how marriage works. Why do people who think this way get married? Gives marriage a bad name. It sounds like you know what you have to do and just need some validation from us to motivate you. So consider yourself validated. It would be ethically wrong for you to continue this relationship. The guilt it would cause you and the hurt to her innocent family does not outweigh the awkwardness of breaking up. Might be worrying getting the opinion of the folks in non-monogamy as well. You need to let her know how you feel and probably end it. After that, she can decide if she wants to stay married to him or move on to find happiness elsewhere, and you won't have to feel guilty for any part of their divorce. She's a leaper. You are in a go-nowhere relationship. She attaches for opportunity and not love. What a POS. You just have not been on the receiving end yet. How she thinks and treats her husband will be you someday, so fucking pay attention. Just saying. Just end it. The feeling isn't mutual and she making these decisions under the impression it is. You're a good person. You're smart asking for advice when the going gets tough. But your gut is telling you to do the right thing, despite how hard it is. If you're on Reddit asking for advice, you already know what you need to do. The hardest things are sometimes the best things. Not to bruise your ego, but you ain't the reason she want to divorce him, you the excuse. She doesn't love him anymore but maybe can't justify it cause he is a decent guy, etc. So she was looking for an excuse to leave him. Tell her that she can break up with her husband but to not do it for you, as you don't feel the same way about her and are not seeking a relationship. If she still wants to go ahead, let her. I don't think that's on you. I think if he's a great guy it's somewhat sad, but he should be with someone that wants to be with him. Whether she loves you or not, he deserves someone that loves him. So I think you need to stop thinking that you were a part of this when it seems to be something the wife is going through. I think if you're feeling uncomfortable in the situation you should step away, but for the most part you shouldn't do anything. I do think you need to be honest and say how you feel, but overall I can't help but feel they should get a divorce. And this is, folks, why open relationships are BS. Just tell her you aren't looking for anything serious. Which means keeping it casual. If she can't handle that, then just walk away. But if she leaves her husband, it has a lot more to do with than just you. So the husband knew. Yeah, you need to tell her this. Maybe she should leave her husband. It sounds like she may not be happy with him, but I wouldn't let her use you as the excuse. If they want to do this, it should be clear what your feelings are, and they can do what they want knowing you are not going to be there. You need to end it. There's no way you get to have your cake and eat it too. She's at the emotional disadvantage here. So you need to do the honorable thing and make the decision for her. End it and let her know if she is unhappy in her marriage, then she needs to make that decision without this plan to run to someone else. Remind her of her family. She can get divorced, but it needs to be for her own reasons and her own personal growth. Not for another relationship. She may actually not be in love with her husband anymore and is using you as an excuse. Or it could be that she is still in the honeymoon phase of the relationship with you while she is out of it with her husband. Making her think she has a better connection with you and love you and not him. Does she know that you don't love her? Have you been honest with her with this? Maybe she thinks you feel the same way and that's why she is willing to end things with her partner. If she wants to divorce her husband, it should be because her life would be better, with or without you in it. Not because she merely wants to be with you. Let her know that you are not committed and that divorcing her husband is her own decision. I'm sorry if her meeting you made her realize she could find better happiness elsewhere, but ultimately it's not your responsibility. If I were you, I would remove myself immediately. Just be honest. Because she doesn't feel like she needs him anymore. Honey, the fact that he's a great husband is the reason you should allow that family to be torn apart. She clearly doesn't appreciate him and talks about him like he's an object that's outlived his usefulness. She's clearly a shallow, selfish piece of shush. This is the most lesbian thing I've ever read. Sorry, I have no real advice beyond what has already been stated above. You should tell her. Everyone else has given you decent advice, but I am going to give you the advice that sounds most tempting. Do nothing and hope this whole thing blows over. You need to be honest with her as soon as possible and probably end things. It isn't a casual relationship anymore. You will just have to bite the bullet and tell her that you don't see a future with her. Don't worry about hurting her feelings. Wasting people's time is more hurtful. IMO. 2. I am not judging either of you when I say this. You say that you don't want her to leave her husband for you, but I think she should leave him anyway. Whether it's for you, or somebody else, or just for herself. He deserves someone who is faithful to him, and she doesn't love him or respect him. If she did, she would feel bad about what she's doing. Regardless of what this sub thinks, open relationships shouldn't be pursued when small kids are involved at the bare minimum. FFS. You need to break up ASAP. You're headed for a mess of a situation. It seems like she's moved the goalpost and you now both want different things. You need to have a serious talk about what that means for you and be honest about your feelings. If she wants to leave her husband, then there's really nothing you can do about that. She's unhappy in her relationship and it's her decision to make. I know that you feel like you are the reason for it, but the main reason for these things is never a third party. Maybe her decision will change if you are out of the equation and she knows that. I would make my decision factor upon the kids here.